Hi, SBC friends. It's Juby with Skin and Beauty Center. It's summer and we all want a tan, but is it good to tan? We have a tanning expert with us today, Dr. Jeffrey Ashley, and he is a board certified dermatologist, and he founded the nonprofit organization Sun Safety for Kids and UV and Me. We will be explaining why sun tanning isn't good for us and maybe some alternatives. So welcome, Dr. Ashley.
Yeah, thanks, Juby. Calling me a tanning expert makes it sound like I'm the go-to person for how to get a tan, but that's not what this is going to be about.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. What causes our skin to tan?
Well, it's caused by the ultraviolet radiation, which is a component of natural sunlight, and also, of course, of the bulbs that are used for artificial tanning in tanning salons. They produce ultraviolet light. And what happens with ultraviolet light is that it penetrates right into our skin cells. And once it gets in there, it damages the DNA inside our skin cells. When that happens, it sets off a big alarm, that causes all sorts of changes within the skin. In response to the alarm that's set off when ultraviolet radiation is absorbed into the skin, is it sets a number of things in motion, including the production of more melanin pigment. And when we have a tan, it's because we have more melanin pigment in our skin than we did before. And so the interesting thing about melanin when it's produced, by the way, it takes it about 72 hours after a particular sun exposure before you can actually see the melanin to call it a tan. The melanin, when it's produced, it migrates right up over the nucleus of the skin cell, which is where the DNA is housed. And so it positions itself right there like a little molecular umbrella to protect the DNA in our skin cells from more incoming ultraviolet. It's the skin's way of realizing it's been hurt, and it wants to set up some protection to keep it from being hurt any further. Really pretty ingenious system when you see how it works.
Wow. Why do some people, like, for example, I tan and my boyfriend, he burns. So like, am I tanning when I get a little bit darker, or am I burning?
Is your boyfriend a redhead?
He is almost a redhead, yes. That's
Yeah.
my redhead.
Well, this gets a little complicated because there's two basic types of melanin. And so the melanin that 95% of the world has is called eumelanin, and that's the melanin that causes tanning. The redheads have the type called pheomelanin, and it's incapable of tanning. It's a reddish yellow color. And so you can produce all of that you want, and you still won't look tan.
So he can just be out in the sun day after day and never tan.
Right.
Oh, okay.
If that's the kind of melanin he has, it sounds like that's the case.
Okay, so many people, and I'm included, think that having a tan makes you look healthy and it looks good. What do you have to say about that?
Well, what's wrong with it is that the only way you get a tan is to damage the DNA in your skin cells. And so if you think you look good with a tan, you're basically going out and showing everybody that you've done damage to yourself, and you've increased your risk of developing skin cancer as a result. What if we could see our lungs? And what if there was a fashion where people thought, gee, my lungs need a little color. And well, of course, you can smoke cigarettes, and sooner or later, your lungs will get darker. So would you be proud to walk around with black lungs for everybody to see because you're a chain smoker? And so really, that's what a tan is. It's going around showing everybody that you've increased your risk of skin cancer.
Wow. I've never thought of it that way. That's pretty scary. So then what alternative things can people do to still get that kind of nice tan color?
Well, I wish we could just change our whole attitude that that's something desirable. There have been times in history where it wasn't. If you go all the way back to back to the 17th, 18th century, If you had a tan, it showed that you had to work outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were in the upper social classes, you did everything you could to prevent having a tan. Then things changed in the 20th century. Nowadays, we have these artificial self-tanners and bronzers. They're not dangerous. They're not carcinogenic like a real tan is. But the main problem is sometimes when people put those on, because they look like they have a tan, they think, oh, now I can be out in the sun and, I have some color to protect me. It's no protection at all. You'll get sunburn just as badly and increase your risk of skin cancer just as much.
What about those people who say like, oh, we should be out in the sun because we need vitamin D?
So take vitamin D. And so seriously, I'm so strong on sun safety that I make vitamin D a part of my normal sun safety recommendation. And I advise people to take an appropriate amount, which that particular individual and I discuss for their needs, because you can overdo it with vitamin D. Unfortunately, it can be toxic if you take too much.
Right.
So, but I do think that reasonable vitamin D supplementation is an important aspect of sun safety.
If you'd like to see Dr. Ashley, he is at our Burbank clinic. Feel free to text or email us at hello@dermla.com or give us a call, 877-822-2223, and visit us on our website, www.dermla.com. And join us on our Instagram and Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashley. Thank you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Juby.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.